Hello, my name's Joyce Gibb. Thank you so much for being with me today. I've been doing a series on detoxification, and a lot of this material is from Drs. Todd Watts and Drs. Jay Davidson from cellcorebiosciences.com. So as we've been speaking about, detoxification isn't just a 1-week thing or a 2-week thing. It's a daily thing that you have to do because our body has all these different toxins that we're exposed to throughout the day, every minute of the day, when we're sleeping, when we're waking, when we're walking, when we're running, when we're eating. So today I'm going to speak about bioactive carbons. So there's several things that you'd want to know about that, but the first thing is food isn't as healthy as it used to be. And why is that? Even whole organic foods aren't as healthy because the nutrients in the soil that are grown have been depleted over years and years of use, of planting and cropping and then replanting, and the soil just isn't as good as it used to be. The minerals are deficient in the soil. So the food that we eat, despite being organic, is still laced with toxins, because what can happen is an upstream stream that waters the crops actually can have toxins in it, even though they don't use pesticides or herbicides on the crop that's actually being planted. So our body has limited energy to actually deal with this detoxification process. So fortunately, nature provides you with an elegant way to help you detoxify, and that is called bioactive carbons. There are 10 reasons why bioactive carbons help upgrade your detoxification regimen. And the first one is nature knows best. And bioactive carbon is a product of nature, and its simplest definition is a carbon that can give and sustain life to a cell. It's the center of life. Without it, you wouldn't exist. Our bodies are made of 96% carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and the other 4% are minerals. So when you look at bioactive carbons, they produce beneficial microbes that decompose old plant material, and what do you end up with? Nutrient-rich dirt. This dirt is so nutrient-rich that even scientists cannot duplicate this process as to how good it is. But Mother Nature has designed this so intricately that we cannot reproduce this. So these compounds, these bioactive carbons, carry a memory of past battles with diseases, kind of like what the mother's first milk, which is called colostrum, carries her antibodies to the child when the child breastfeeds. So it is super nourishing and has a wealth of life-sustaining substances. So what does bioactive carbon do? It contains amino acids, enzymes, hormones, natural antivirals, 60 plus minerals and trace elements, superoxide dismutase, which helps reduce oxygen-free radicals, and it's a natural oxygen-free radical scavenger to help soup those up. And we've talked before, you have a side that produces inflammation, which is the oxygen free radicals, and then you have a side that's anti-inflammation or antioxidants, and those should be equaled out. So bioactive carbon is very beneficial in producing this. So it also increases your body's enzyme activity, and it can even help nourish the good gut bacteria, which is another way to support your health. As we know, there's a gut-brain connection, and your gut really is 70-90% of your immune system overall. So the bioactive carbons, they navigate your body well. For a substance to help the body, it needs to be able to get everywhere: your brain, your cells, your bone, and your gut. And so the bioactive carbons, it's unique in that it exists in a variety of sizes. They include small, medium, and large chain compounds. This enables them to travel wherever they need to be in your body. So different sizes function different ways here. So a large chain remains in the digestive tract. A medium chain passes through the gut lining, and it enters tissues, bones, muscles, and nerves. And the small chain enters your cells and can even cross the blood-brain barrier into to the brain itself. So the thing that I love about the bioactive carbons through Cellcore Biosciences, nobody else is doing this. It basically has nanocarbon technology, the smallest particle size that's even smaller than the human cell. So how does it navigate the body? The mobility of the medium and small chains is really impressive. The small chains help clear harmful compounds in the brain. They can also recognize and help dismantle abnormal cell formations like in Alzheimer's disease. I have a patient I've been working with that has a lot of, this looks like toxins from mold. Traditionally, we tried cholestyramine, which is a binder, charcoal, which is a binder, bentonite clay, which is a binder, and there are certain lab tests. TGF-beta 1 is one of those, and her levels were about 20 times higher than they should be. And I had a heck of a time. We couldn't get them down to go back up, and then she had a hard time being compliant with taking those, the cholestyramine or the charcoal or the bentonite clay because it would cause gas, to make her stomach upset. And so we really couldn't get anywhere to try to clear those. But when I started using the bioactive carbons with her, her levels came down, like the normal level would be like 2,800 or under. Her level was like up in the 40,000 instead of 2,800. So just in 3 months, her level came down to almost 3,250, which is just above the upper range. And so we're going to test again. But that is the first time that I was able to get that down. And it was very easy for her to take. She didn't have a lot of side effects. So in contrast, like I was saying, the bentonite clay and the charcoal, basically, it just stays in your gut. It won't go to your brain. It just stays in your digestive tract. And then you have other side effects from using that also. And remember, that's the large carbon chains. So the other thing is a very powerful detoxifier, bioactive carbon is. And so it can navigate your body better. And it's also because it's unspent or energized carbon. The old school binders, such as charcoal, are spent carbon. This is unspent. And unspent means that the bioactive carbon has a lot more binding capacity. It's kind of like you have a bus going down the road that's empty, and it can pick up a lot of debris, which would be, toxins, to take it out of your system. Versus a charcoal or a clay binder is like a bus going down the road that's almost all full and it only has a couple seats left. It doesn't have very much capacity to remove the binders. So bioactive carbon could help remove heavy metals such as cadmium and mercury, environmental pollutants like pesticides and herbicides, poisons released from parasites and other pathogens, and toxins from your own cellular processes. So they have the ability to absorb an incredible amount of toxins. So bioactive carbons, they balance minerals in your body. And I frequently see people that have low vitamin D, low magnesium, low manganese, and all these things. And so why is that happening? Because the bioactive carbon's an excellent source of highly bioavailable organic material, which helps your body readily absorb and use them. So it dissolves in a form that your cells can use. Like I said, the small ones can go to your brain. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. The large ones stay in your digestive tract. The medium chain, they go to your nerves and your bones, etc. And so since it's a high concentration of energized nanocarbons, it's active longer in your body, and it gives you more time to absorb its minerals and its other nutrients. The nice thing it does, it not only can give you minerals, but it can also bind and carry minerals away that you don't need. We frequently, with dementia or Alzheimer's disease, we always look at the zinc copper ratio. You should have about the same amount of zinc and copper. I frequently see a lot of people that have a lot of copper in their system, and this will help bind that to take it away on the bus. So what else do bioactive carbons do? They supercharge your cells. Remember, your body is electric. You gain and lose electrons at all time. And so the electrical differences is what gives you energy in your body. An inadequate voltage is common to all chronic illnesses. So it's hard for your bodies, if you have, the voltage is incorrect, to get rid of the toxins. But what do bioactive carbons do? They supercharge the particles. They're called polyelectrolytes. And it can give or accept negatively charged electrons. So a healthy cell operates at minus 20 to minus 25 millivolts. And this means that it can give away about 25 electrons. So just think about this. But if a cell gives away too many electrons, it causes disease. Bioactive carbons can actually give away more than 100,000 electrons. But that keeps the cells at the correct charge to promote healing. So just think about it. Bioactive carbons, it's nanocarbon technology. It is something that's very new to the industry. And I was just so excited when I heard all this information. But we look at people that have fatigue. There's so many people that have fatigue. I bet 50% of the people that I talk to have fatigue as part of the consults that I do. But what do bioactive carbons? They actually support your mitochondria, where you improve the voltage of your cells, such as consuming the bioactive carbons. It increases your oxygen level, which promotes more ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and that means more energy to your cells, and your cells can function more smoothly and efficiently. So the bioactive carbons also increase your metabolic activity of the cells, which increases DNA and RNA. But spent carbons like charcoal, they don't repair your tissues. They don't charge up the mitochondria. All that does is bind something in the gut. So bioactive carbons are also known as and can be antioxidants because they supercharge your cells. And it can protect your cells, really protects them from oxidative damage. And so what does that mean? Like we always used to talk about oxidative damage is like cellular rust. Your cells become old and they don't function well. But oxidation is a natural process, and what happens, you lose an electron, and that cell becomes unstable. And then that promotes a free radical, which causes cellular rust. So it tries to be balanced again by just stealing another electron from someplace else. So your cells are being attacked again and again just by free radicals, and they're giving, they're exchanging, they're pulling from someplace else, from the bully. They're like the bully, that's the nearby cells, to actually protect the cell. But bioactive carbons are unique, that it donates an electron, it actually remains stable, not like the other cells. Bioactive carbons are one of nature's most powerful antioxidants. And it's a superb source of an antioxidant enzyme called SOD, or superoxide dismutase, which that decreases as we age. But SOD actually protects the cell, including your cardiovascular health and your vessel health. The nice thing about bioactive carbons, it can be taken long term. You don't have to worry about when you take it, like charcoal, clay. You can't take it with food because charcoal actually, as a binder, has to be taken away from food. Because if you take it with food, it absorbs the nutrients in the food. It will bind those nutrients. With bioactive carbon, you can take it with or without food. It doesn't matter. It's like the charcoal is like the garbage truck comes and takes the garbage out, but then the garbage people start raiding your pantry when you're taking it with food. Bioactive carbons don't. They can actually just be taken with or without food. It's easy to take, so they don't have to be taken with or without food. And the nice thing about it is you can, for kids too, you can put it dissolves very readily in water. It makes it like it's a charcoal color, and it's not chunky. There's tiny, tiny little particles, and it dissolves very readily, even in water. So kids can take it. When you have kids that have exposures to certain chemicals, they can actually take that. And you can take a half a capsule versus a whole capsule. We can talk about the dosing later on. But, you can actually put it in a juice. not the best tasting stuff, but it's not horrible either. And it's very easily to take. So if you'd like to talk more to me about detoxification and potentially how I can help you on your journey to health, just give me a call. Bioactive carbons are a great way to aid in detoxification. Thanks for listening. If you want to make sure you're getting the latest health information, click the subscribe button below and ring the bell. That way you can make sure you're not going to miss out on any of the latest information.